Okay, this is the second video about Margret Taylor. Uh, it has to do with Margret Taylor, married name Wells now, and Larry Borsina. Him and Bobby Elwood had sex together. They're faggots and queers. Larry Borsina is mafia person. Um, he was living at Marge Taylor's house. She was renting to him. She rented to other guys. Her house, she did get through an FHA loan, which, according to the way I'm to understand it, she was not allowed to have any renters at all. Although there may have been a small possibility that if she reported that income that she could have, but her statement was that she was not going to report that income both to the FHA so that she could continually have her low income loan and her low payments, and also not to federal tax authorities, etc. Marge Taylor Wells, her and Larry Borsina was also into kinky sex, shitting on each other while they were having sex, etc. So these are some very kinky people. Marge Taylor, maiden name, and her sister Libby Taylor have three brothers: Craig Taylor, Robert Taylor, and Ray Taylor. Now, these brothers were in the armed services. They are all into incest. They may or may not still be in parts of the government. Whenever they was younger, these five people all enjoyed having sex together. And that is words from Marge Taylor and Libby Taylor. And so they're older to have sex with them. And I recall this probably started before they was older males, but then also it continued on whenever they were older males. Marge and Libby Taylor was brought from Oklahoma, Moreland, Oklahoma, where they lived at the time with their brothers and their dad, Roy Taylor. They are all into drinking and smoking, etc. Whenever they was very young, I'm thinking Marge may have been 14 or less. She definitely was not old enough to drive. And Libby may have been 10 or 12 or less. And that's whenever they was brought from Oklahoma to Kansas, liberal Kansas, to Kenneth and Ethel Elwood's house. Now, their brothers at that time, whenever they were brought from Oklahoma to Kansas, their brothers were already all over 18, and they were all in the armed services of different kinds, and their age may have ranged from Ray Taylor, the youngest, possibly 18 or older, to their Robert Taylor and then Craig Taylor, or vice versa, and they may have been even 20 to 25 years old. I'm not for sure. You will have to check on their ages because I'm not positive, but they were all over 18, molesting their own sisters under years old, possibly, maybe even as low as 12 or 13-year-olds. And so that's the kind of people they do have in the government systems. So back to Marge and at her house. So I was then forced to leave. I was worried for Candace Wells and her little sister's safety. There was no one I could tell because of the government is involved, and they don't do anything about their lawbreakers that they're using to do this lawbreaking. And because of all these lawbreaking people, I left. I possibly believe that may or may not be whenever I was being attacked by the government, these law-breaking people, and they ran me all over the USA using me as a slave. More of that, I think, is in the next video. This second video did not process here on YouTube. So after I did the third video, I'm now coming back trying to do this video. And so some of it may not be the same as whenever I tried to record it the first time. I do recall the second video also talked about Jeff Wells being a sheriff, so therefore he knows about the Elwood and Marge Taylor and them and all their law breaking, because all the sheriffs and all the police there in liberal Kansas City, whenever him and Marge did start going out, he supposedly then quit being a sheriff. Sometimes these law enforcement people who are in the government, they are involved in all the law breaking, lying about laws and rules, breaking laws and rules, smoking, drinking, doing illegal drugs, using the drug people to steal and thieve and attack the innocent little children, as they did me ever since I was a little child. Some of them may even go to church and deny any and all their smoking and drinking, etc., etc., etc. They may even say, oh, it's because they're out to believe in Jesus and God, or Jesus and God saved them, etc., etc. But it's really to attack the innocent. Sometimes these government people who are in the government, even to fool other people who have came to know of the government's law breaking and have came to know of the law breaking that the government uses, sometimes they will say they're no longer part of that government, but yet they may be getting paid by secret money, so that they can collect information about other people who disagree with the government's law breaking, who disagree with their drugs and their drug selling. Also, it's so that they can go to churches and get information about people who